Yo, what's up? I just left class, and these are my office hours. And I guess I should say, welcome to another episode of O Tangent, Office Hour Tangents. I'll figure out an intro. I'm just kind of flying blind right now. But I just left class. The class I left is called Interaction Design 2. Interaction Design 1. And basically, in that class, it's an introductory class. It's an introductory interaction design class, or I can't remember the name of it. It's interaction design or in interface design. I want to say it's interaction design one. I just changed the name. We just changed the name. It used to be web one. So in that class, I'm introducing the students to like the beginning processes of like what a web-based application is and how you kind of plan for it. To basically in this first class in the three sequence in it's interaction design 1, 2, and 3. In this first class, just getting their feet wet of kind of like designing an interactive piece. So most of our students, of course, and this is most programs throughout the world, probably, and it kind of if they're following some kind of creative track, they're usually it's very print heavy, right? Up until now, you have dedicated programs for interaction design and things like that. But for the most part, most of the programs still, in my opinion, are print based, meaning logos, layouts, um, design flyers, posters, branding and wrapping things, and just kind of things that you could put on the wall, put on a T-shirt, print things. So when students get to these interaction classes, at least in the school I'm teaching at now, which is a liberal arts school, so it's not a dedicated design school or art school. A lot of times they treat my class like math, like I'm in this class because I have to be, and they're scared of it because it's not print. So probably their K through 12 education, anything having to do with creativity, had to do with probably art. Probably most of the time it's just art. Like do whatever, you know, whatever makes you feel good, and everything is there's no right or wrong, and everything's beautiful. Art is expressive, and it can be. I remember in art class that was nothing's good or bad. Just follow the directions, and you'll be fine. And then a lot of our curriculum and a lot of design curriculums out there have a lot of art elements. Then when they get to the design part, it kind of challenges them because it changes the focus from internal to external. So I'm making this painting for me. Design is I'm designing this for them, whoever them is, and then teaching them about them. So when it comes to websites, or I call them, screen-based applications, the focus is a little more extended. So it's not even you're designing it for them, whoever they are, and you are also designing for interactivity. There are things that you can press, click, swipe, pinch, all that good stuff. Now with the new VR things coming out, you know, you got these kind of interactions to do. You're going to have controllers. You have all these. Some people kind of interact with web pages with PlayStation controllers because the PlayStation is their internet source. So he's trying to teach students about that. So in this particular class, we were talking about websites in the sense of I forgot how we got into the subject, and then the tangent I went on. That's where we're getting at. But we got on the subject of templates, right? So some of the students they even though I tell them stay away from e-commerce when we're just doing this introductory thing, because the sequence of what this project in this class they're building is, I take them from the very beginning of the process, like idea generation and reasonings behind it. And then then they go to like quick sketches, just to get a semblance of how the page would be laid out. And then I take them into like site architecture, take your sketches and how does everything link together. And then I take them into Figma and have them build hi-fi, so high fidelity wireframes that can actually be tested in a prototype type of format. So basically, in this class, I'm giving students the skill set necessary to build, like the initial skills necessary to build prototypes, ready to be talked about or handed off maybe to a developer, right? Using a program like Figma. Okay, so we were talking about this stuff, and we got on the subject of templates. And I was talking about like, well, designers, I used to be against templates altogether. My thing was, especially when I first started teaching, it was like, hey, don't use templates because that's like cheating for us. Templates are made for non-designers, non-creatives. So if you don't have the chops or the time, but usually you just don't have the chops to create it yourself, use a template. And up until recently, in my opinion, templates were pretty terrible. They all look the same, very generic looking. Now the template sites you find on Squarespace, Wix, even on all the GoDaddy builders, Ionos, all that stuff. Templates aren't bad. They just still look all the same. It's like the same format pretty much 90% of the time. But they just don't have any personality. They don't have any soul. It's up to the designer or whoever's doing it. You can take a template, start with a template, but you can add soul to it, right? Add decisions that humanize it, that make it feel like a human actually touched it instead of just like a robot or some AI dictating where everything goes. And the only thing we're changing out is the text and how what it says on the buttons. Which got me to my tangent of the day. I got into my tangent about the difference between, so when I brought up AI, as soon as I said the word AI, the conversation started and the tangent started and I had to like take it back to what we were talking about. But I marked it down and this is the tangent we're going to talk about today. So the tangent was the difference between awesome and dope. So I've been using this analogy for about a year now, just, internally with my friends and family and students. So especially when AI started percolating, really fast, just like a little less than a year ago, like it feels like AI and this whole like ChatGPT came out. It seemed like it came out like 3 years ago, but I don't even know if it came out a year ago still. But when that first came out and it got up, a lot of people panicked. A lot of professors were panicking. A lot of students were panicking. Like, oh, especially the designers. You're seeing that resources like Midjourney and Dolly, they're able to just create images with a prompt and it can happen in 30 seconds. And designers in college, not in college, professors, all that stuff, our community, some of them were starting to panic, like, oh, this is going to put us out of work, and so on and so forth. So I will always use this analogy, and I think it's still true, and I think it'll be true not forever, I don't know, but I think it'll be true at least for the time being, however you want to measure what the time being is right now, right? So the time being, there's a difference between awesome and dope, in my opinion. AI creates awesomeness. What AI generates, and I'm gonna just talk about imagery right now. I know it can do a lot of other stuff, but I'm just talking about these image generators. You could type something in, and be like, hey, create a photorealistic image of a dog playing in the snow, in the front yard of a suburban house, right? And it'll create an amazing image for you. Like it'd be amazing. But it's amazing really mostly because how fast it is and how groundbreaking the technology is. That's what makes it amazing. And it's like a good thing. It's like amazing. So it's like we have this new amazing tool we can use, but it's still just a tool. The difference between amazing and dope, however, to me is AI can generate amazing. So whenever I go into AI and I try to get something really specific, AI seems to have it has a problem creating specifics. It can create general things, but specifics, like I need that puppy to, look like the puppy that I had when I was little, and I need the snow to be, when you want specifics, especially if you go in there and say, hey, I need a brand mark that looks like this, that looks exactly like this, it's going to be hard to duplicate that things. AI creates awesome. We create dopeness, right? There is a difference. It's like, okay, let me think of a good comparison. So, any artist, just think of any good painter, just think of a dope painter, right? You go to a museum and you see a dope painting. Okay? Oh, let's take it more street level. You go to Wynwood. So I'm in South Florida. So Wynwood is a community in Miami that it's a funky little community. I think most cities kind of have this little funky artsy area, but Wynwood is kind of like big and it's major because it's Miami. And there's a lot of street art, right? And I won't call it all graffiti because there's a negative connotation to graffiti, but I love graffiti. But some people, it's more street art in Wynwood because it's more like commissioned. It's more like, hey, graffiti artist, can you do a mural graffiti on the side of my building, right? It's not like hanging off the train and doing quick tags, illegally. It's like commission work down there, but it's still graffiti. So think of, I'm thinking of a dope graffiti artist, and it's something they do. And I go to Wynwood and I'm like, that is dope. That's dope. It's personal, and it's dope because a human being did it. I can look at it and I can see that a human being pulled this off. A human being got on the ladder and used the grid system and took spray cans, and they actually created this mural that looks like almost photorealistic, or this dope graffiti tag that I'm looking at and trying to figure out what it says, but like a human being did that. The dopeness of a human. AI, not yet, but AI, it just kind of scours the internet and it tries to give you exactly what you ask for, right? There's no nuance there. There's no reasoning. If it's not what you want, you can just say, generate another one, generate another one, generate. Okay, that's closer. Generate another one, generate another one. Okay? So there's a difference between awesome and dope. And I think both of them can exist at the same time, right? They already exist. Like people act like AI is new, but AI's been around forever, right? There's always been websites where you can just buy logos for $5. If you just need a generic looking logo, you can get it for $5. If you want a generic looking website, it's not that important to your business to have a custom logo and a custom website. I get it. Get a free WordPress template or get a free Squarespace Wix, or even splurge and get a $20 WordPress templates. Those are like significantly better, and it's just like $20, if that, right? And I'll direct clients there. I used to not do that, but now I do. Like, it seems like you don't really need anything custom. You just need something up. And I'm like, yeah, just use one of these templates. It's all good. But realize that it's not going to be dope. It's just not going to be dope. So to demonstrate this, and this is on the fly, like I just got out of class, and on the fly demonstration. Let me switch up. Let me see. All right, so I just have pulled up. So Google Bard, I use Bard for the most part for my AI purposes primarily. I kind of switch between Bard and ChatGPT, but I just like the interface of Bard because it's still Google. It's not like something different. It's still Google. And now they just added the ability to create to generate images too. Well, they just changed the name from Bard to Gemini. Bard, I don't know why they named it Bard. It probably meant something. It's probably an acronym. But now it's Gemini. But so if I go into Gemini and I already typed the prompt before I load, because I know you didn't want to see me type out a bunch of stuff. But I'm gonna read it though. Create a vertical format painting dedicated to the hip hop group De La Soul, particularly Dave, aka Trugoy. The painting should feature 3 plugs near the bottom of the canvas. The first and third plugs should have cords that hang down and off the canvas. The second plug's cord should ascend to the top of the canvas and bloom into a flourish of illustrated flowers akin to the flowers used on De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising album cover. The background color should be yellow, right? So that's typically, if I commission some work, that's what I would tell them, right? And then we would talk further about it. Since I'm an artist myself, I'm not, I don't claim to be an artist for real. I'm more of a designer, but sometimes I like to create art without the stipulations of design. And I created this, and I'll show you what I created, but I'm going to show you what AI, at least these AIs have different, I don't want to call them personalities, but they have different algorithms, and they give you different results with the same prompts. So it's almost like each AI has different personalities and different capabilities. So this is Gemini. So I'm going to generate this image and see what they come up with. So I have a vision in my head exactly what I want. I know what I want. I can even sketch it for somebody for them to flesh it out. But I'm going to see if AI can kind of get close to it. And then usually I'll go and just adjust what I asked for to get it closer and closer. But it's all based on kind of like what it generates right off the bat. And I think my prompt is a pretty in-depth prompt. But I've seen prompts that are pages long. You can have a sentence. Like I see, it's thinking a lot. So it's a lot to digest because I'm talking to it like a human. That's what it wants you to do, right? It wants to be your personal assistant. It wants you to talk in human language, not computer language. So as that works, I also have Discord. I also have Midjourney pulled up. So I think Midjourney, I haven't checked yet, but Midjourney's trying to create or it was creating a standalone app, but up until then, it's been working out of Discord. So I'm in Midjourney, and it's a little harder. I don't say harder, but it's a little higher learning curve if you want to use Midjourney because, like I said, it's out of this Discord platform, and it's almost like giving actual prompts. Like you gotta type in. So you gotta. I'm not gonna. This is not the thing on how to use Midjourney, but you gotta actually type in a prompt. Imagine, and then type in your prompt. So it's almost like old DOS. So I'm gonna paste the same prompt in here and see what Discord. So let me see if Gemini's still thinking. I don't know why it's still thinking, but I'll let it still think. That's a long time. That's not cool. So here's the same prompt in Midjourney. Midjourney is basically regarded still as like the high water point of high water line of image generators. It seems to be the generate the highest quality images. So we're gonna see what they come up with, and I say they loosely what it comes up with. So I have this vision in my head. Like I said, 3 plugs at the bottom, middle plug going up. The vision is Trugoy just passed away a year ago. Actually, I think it's a year ago today. I think I saw on Twitter. So rest in peace, Dave. Celebration. Y'all raised me with the De La Soul albums. I'm like the 4th member, or well, Prince Paul's probably the 4th member. I'm like the 5th member of De La Soul. That's how I feel. So let's see. But my vision is not this. So my vision is 3 plugs, right? They're plug 1, plug 2, plug 3. You will have to know that in order to get this concept. The middle plug, which is plug 2, which is Dave, who passed away. So the 2 outside plugs will be going down to the ground like regular plugs. Like they're plugs, they're still plugged in. The 3rd plug is still plugged in, but this cord is ascending to the top of the canvas, and it brings about flowers from that cord. So it's almost saying that the 2 guys are still remaining. They're just regular plugs. They're plugged into the earth, right? Still plugged in. They're grounded. Their 2nd plug is ascending and ascended to the heavens or wherever you believe. And then the flowers that you would see on the 3 Feet High and Rising album cover, like that flat image painted style of those daisies, that's what I want to show at the top with a yellow background, right? I don't know if I could verbalize that any better than I did in this, but it's clearly I could. I could say like no, but they gave me. Look, they gave me. This is not. It's amazing that they gave me something like this, but it's not dope. It's not exactly what I'm looking for. Not even close. It seems like this AI focused on Discord focused on the fact that I said hip hop group. That's all. It kind of stopped there. Dedicated to the hip hop group because this is not. They don't even look like the players in De La Soul, right? So this is far. Let me see if Gemini's done. Gemini did not even give me. So this is live, folks. I did this before and it worked. Let me see if it does it now. I don't know. But it kind of got closer. It didn't have the characters, but it would there's all the plugs is all messed up. Okay, I think it's working now. It says, sure, here's a vertical format painting dedicated to the hip hop group that I sold, particularly Dave, aka Trugoy. Let's see what it. So this is what it come up with. All right, a little closer. I'm more impressed by Gemini right now. Just seemed like Gemini read my whole prompt, and it seemed like Midjourney just stopped and just gave me something halfway through. But yellow background. Let me see what happens when I click. I haven't used Gemini yet. Yeah, the format is not the sizing I want, but this one is closest to my idea, right? I need these plugs to be plugged into the wall. which is challenging, but I needed to look like it's plugged into the wall. But this middle one, and this is kind of amazing. It looks like fine art, right? I'm not even mad. Like these are getting kind of wonky. The actual flowers coming out of the plug, just making some assumptions. This one is more abstract, but it didn't get close to exactly how I wanted. So, but these are amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing, right? But I chose to do it myself, and this is what I came up with. This is my vision. So it's one of those things. What I do with a lot of stuff I do in my life, if I want something or I want to do something, then I just look up like where can I do this or where can I buy this, and I don't find it. And it doesn't happen often now. You can find and do anything. It's like no idea is original. But if I find something and it hasn't been done yet, first of all, I go out and buy the domain name. That's usually what I do. But I just do it myself. So I wanted a painting like this, and I painted it. So a dedication to Trugoy. The second plug is going up, and a display of flowers. It's just my style. I have a very flat type of style because I'm more of a designer than an artist. And this is what I was looking for. And there's pretty much no way I can get any of these AI clients to generate exactly this. But to me, this is dope. To me, this is dope. Right? And this is amazing. And there's a difference. It's dope because I did it. It's dope if somebody else looks at it. Like somebody else, they can look up close and they can see the brush strokes. Right? And it's dope because it's my style. It's my soul in that painting. That's what makes it dope. That's what makes music dope to people, is the soul of it. You listen to your favorite songs or your favorite album, and it's the soul of it. You could picture the people in the studio creating the song. You could picture the person writing the song. You could picture the person mastering the song. You could picture the people performing the song. That's what makes it dope. That's what makes it valuable, right? Things that are developed just from a prompt, they could be amazing. They're amazing, but it doesn't make them valuable. It doesn't make them dope. It doesn't necessarily make it valuable. How about that? It doesn't necessarily make it dope. Okay? So that's the tangent I went on, and I just wanted to share on, old tangent is, when it comes to templates, and I think we're just going to get, I don't want to say worse, the word worse, but it's going to go more that direction, in the time being, in my opinion. I think there will be a correction at some point when we just kind of like wake up one day and like everything we're looking at is like fake. Well, I don't say fake, but it's like AI generated somehow. So everything just starts looking the same. That's what some of the dystopian movies that come out, and they just kind of like, their view of the future is like sameness. It's kind of like the Truman Show. Just think of like every house looks the same, everybody's car looks the same. That's why I'm not a tangent. I'm on a tangent. That's why I need to get a graphic. I'm reminding myself every episode I need help, but I need a graphic. So if I say tangent, like I'm on a tangent right now, there should be some graphic on the screen that says like tangent, like I said last one, like toasty, like on Mortal Kombat, like tangent. Maybe it's from the corner. I don't know. But see, that's what happens too. I lose my train of thought when I go off on tangents of tangents of tangents, right? So I think we're going to see more and more automatically generated things. We're going to wake up one day and everything's going to be automatically generated. And everything's going to look cookie cutter, just like the Truman Show. Like all the houses, all the cars. Oh, I was talking about Tesla. Tesla, I'm not a fan of Tesla. I mean, not the person. I'm not a fan of the car. And, they're great cars. People drive them. It's almost like down here in South Florida, it's almost like Civics. Like you see more Teslas now than Civics. It used to be you would see like 100 Civics a day. I see 100 Teslas a day. And to me, all Teslas look the same. It don't matter if it's ST, whatever the different variances of the cost are, or the 3, 4, 5, 6. They all look the same. They're like cookie cutter cars. They're like MI Homes. They're like Lennar Homes. They're just cookie cutter cars. They all do the same thing. They don't really have that much personality. And that is the mark of automatically generated things, right? And we know that all cars are developed that way, but Tesla, like their whole line looks exactly the same. As opposed to something like Porsche, where they have different cars, sizes, they have all these different things. Ford, all the other car dealers, but Tesla's, all their cars pretty much look exactly the same. The Cybertruck's coming out, and it's almost like trying to look different on purpose. It's just like people would have bought that thing if it just looked like a station wagon Tesla, right? I don't know who's gonna buy the Cybertruck. It looks like people that just want to shine. But a lot of people that drive Teslas right now are inconspicuous soccer mom type of personalities, right? So once we wake up and we find that everything is looking uniform, everybody's wearing the same type of clothes, everybody's wearing the same type of shoes, everybody's style is pretty much the same, everybody's talking the same, everybody's doing the same things. I think there'll be a correction. I might not be alive to see that correction. I might. I think things are going to ramp up as far as like craziness soon. And I think we will see a correction one day. But I think even now, the opportunities for creatives to create and be creative, I think there's no better time than now. Like a lot of creatives that talk to me, at least, they're panicking because they think that AI is going to shift the focus from their creativity. Like if somebody else can just create quote air quotes, they can I don't even know what you would say. They didn't make it. They prompted it. I guess you would say they prompted it. And they could actually take this and get it enlarged. There's AI programs that are actually heighten the resolution without degradation, I've heard. And then they could print it out and they could put it on their wall. And they can even lie about it. They could say that, Joe Schmo painted this. They could say they painted it. Or they could just be honest, like AI generated, but it's dope, so I'm putting it on the wall. Right? But it's not going to be valuable at all. This one might be valuable. If I become famous one day and I'll rock out, and this is like my first major painting, and that I had displayed in a museum, this might be valuable, my whole valuable. But it's valuable to me because I made it, and it took a long time to make, and it made my hands cramp up to make, right? And this is my second version. My first version is in the garage, and I messed it up, and I was mad. That's what makes it valuable. It's the story behind it. We also got into stories. We always talk about stories in that class, right? You're selling you're designing it, you're creating it, but what's going to sell it is going to be the story behind it. So that's usually, I get into that more. So I have a design thinking class that I get more into storytelling. But it's a running theme in those 3 courses is what's the story? And what's the story behind what you just created, what was created? And I think that's going to be lost with automatically generated things, is the story behind it. So that was my tangent of the day. And yeah, I'm loving doing these, and I hope to do more. So the schedule I'm gonna try to follow, but I'm still getting acclimated to everything, and my class getting out, and the time I'm trying to get a key to this room so I can have access to it all the time. But I'm gonna try to post new O tangents on Tuesdays and Thursdays at around 6:00, maybe 6, 7. I don't know. But the plan is to shoot them on Monday, post it on Tuesday, shoot it on Wednesday, post it on Thursday. And then if I can figure out the technology, I might even, what's the viability of going live? Because I think going live, if I was doing this live, I think it'd be more natural because it's like I'm speaking to a class. I'm not just speaking to the tape, right? It's like I have to flow with it. I have to, go with it. There's no pausing. So I do want to eventually make it to the point where this can be live, and it could be a tune in like every Monday. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 6. I'm live with O Tangents. So just throwing this stuff in the atmosphere, so it's like out there, so I can be held accountable to kind of follow through on this stuff. So yeah, until next time. For O Tangents, I don't know how I'm gonna end it too. I need to have an outro. Maybe I'll do a beat, and maybe I'll beatbox the beat so I don't have to worry about using copyrighted music. I don't feel like making a song. I don't feel like getting no generic songs. But maybe I'll beatbox my way out. I don't feel like doing it now, but maybe I'll get up the nerve to do it next time. But until next time, peace out.